noisy lot. Just so easy. Greetings all and welcome back to the landscape. Published a video a little while ago that talked about why I bought into the camera system that I bought into. Why for me I felt it would be not the perfect system for landscape photography, but a system that I could get the best out of in the landscape. And hopefully I've just demonstrated just there how easy this system is to use in the landscape, excuse the wildlife. A chap called Peter Fritz, who's here on YouTube. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description. He's quite a philosophical guy, Australian guy, quite philosophical. I think Peter's been around the block a few times and therefore has got quite a lot of life experience that he shares on his YouTube channel alongside photography. And Peter Fritz has recently changed his camera system. He had an all singing, all dancing camera system from one of the mainstream camera manufacturers. And in fact, the model he's got is a model that I've picked up and played with, and it's a lovely, lovely camera. But he decided that it did too much. For what he did with his camera, it was too much. There were so many features and functions within the camera that he just didn't use. And as I watched his video and he was describing it, I thought, well, with this camera system, out in the landscape, I practically use all of the functions that are within it. I don't think there's much. I'm not sure if it'll do focus bracketing. I'll have to look it up. If it does, I don't really use it because I don't really use focus bracketing. But exposure bracketing, this thing will do, and it does it very simply. And I think that's one of the key qualities that I found with this camera, and this is the purpose for this video. Sometimes, dependent on what it is that you've chosen to photograph, what the advertisers say to you, what the magazines say to you, what the review websites say to you, isn't necessarily true. And by that I mean, for some people, a camera system that does absolutely everything, yeah, it's a brilliant system. But like Peter was finding, there was tons of bits of the technology that he just never used, but he'd paid out for. And with this camera system, I had this deep feeling within me that the money that I was paying was, or had been put into, functions and features that I would actually use. And I do actually use them. With it, like any camera system, there are things in here that frustrate me. The quick menu frustrates me a little bit, and I've done a video about that as well, how the layout and the way you use the buttons. Sometimes I get it mixed up and I get it slightly wrong. Battery life isn't wonderful. I wish battery life was better. But that aside, it's just such a simple, straightforward, quick system to actually use and get set up in the landscape, ready to make the most of the potential that's right in front of you. And the key message that I want to get across is that it is definitely worth finding a camera store. Again, I apologise for the wildlife. A camera store or a shop that's got a broad range of camera systems that you can actually pick up and play with. It's also worth looking for a camera show where, again, a bit like the camera store, there's all the options laid out in front of you. I think it's also worth knowing, what is it that you want from a camera system? Do you want an all singing, all dancing that will do landscape photography, motorsport photography, macro photography, wildlife photography, etc., etc.? Or do you just want a camera system that's specific to one particular genre? Now, I've looked at backup systems for this, L-mount camera systems, and I've not purchased anything because of the notion that Peter put across. And I didn't really realise it, again, until I watched Peter's video about why he'd chosen to change his camera system. All of the backup systems that I was looking at were all singing or dancing. They weren't specific to a genre. Which kind of begs the question, why don't I just go and buy another one of these? And maybe that's indeed exactly what I should do. Just go and buy another Sigma FPL. Because this system, it just works for me in the landscape. It's an excellent system. For me, anyway, it's an excellent system. And I know it has its detractors, and I know it has its critics. But so what? I love it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Whilst I wait for the sun to come up behind me and illuminate the landscape in front of me, I'm going to bid you farewell. I hope to somebody this ramble has been useful. And I hope for some people it's actually saved them a little bit of money, because in comparison to some of the mainstream systems, this camera is significantly cheaper. Right, I'm leaving it there, otherwise I'm going to ramble. Take care everybody, stay safe and stay well. Until we're next back out in the landscape. Cheerio for now. What a stunning morning. What a stunning view. Oh, my foot's gone to sleep.